Alright everyone, it's Chris Shelley. Here's more iRacing. This time we're in the Xfinity cars. I know you guys have been waiting and waiting for something that wasn't ARCA, so here it is. NASCAR Xfinity Series E fixed. Here's qualifying lap at Texas. This is an interesting race, and it's an interesting track to sort of develop your skills on. So, the way you want to run this is 1 and 2. You're going to use a little bit of trail brake. Gotta let it sort of get to the white line. Pick up the gas. Try to rip the bottom as much as you can. You don't want to let it arc out too much. Especially on exit, there's not enough banking on turn 2 and turn 2 really to do that. Now for 3 and 4, you just want to breathe the gas a little bit, but not a whole lot. You're still partially in it. Mostly in it, really. And then you're just trying to push it all the way down to full throttle. That gets us a 30.290. That's good enough for second. Qualifying. Make sure, I was running 14-1. I was running 14-1, steering ratio with a 55% brake bias for that qualifying run. I brought it down to 52% during the race. Let's go to the race, actually. All right, so here we are with the race. It's 45 laps. Cautions are on. This is not ARCA, so we're dealing with yellow flags. We also have the restart, the Geico restart zone and start zone as well. Typically, these races have 1 or 2 yellows, is what I've 1 or 2 cautions is what I've seen. So my strategy, especially, is just to sort of maximize my pace for about a 20 lap run and expect a yellow. I had a terrible start here. So I was concerned about the pace speed, right? So what I usually do is I creep up to them, but I realized, okay, once it got close to the zone, I couldn't pull up further because there's a limit on your speed. So you're not allowed to go over the speed, otherwise you can get penalized. So you can't really creep up on people like I like to do. So that was on the initial start. So that was
all good.
bit of a mistake on my end. It's fine though. So that costs us about 1 spot. We're back down to 3rd. Let's start, but it's okay. Long race. We're expecting at least a 20 lap run on average. Or we even expect 1 more restart early on, and then it's for it to spread out. So I was fine with that. 16 was really gonna go for it. I was trying to take it easy on that first lap, and then 16 was not. He was just like, let me get everything I can right now. Now this car is the setup this week is very interesting. It trends very tight very quickly, at least for me. So it'll start off that first like 5 laps will be good balance, pretty oversteery, but then you just keep losing front grip and you keep losing front grip. Middle of the run for me is the worst time. Just because I think I could have been using a little bit more brake in the middle of the run, and you'll see how I start to struggle in the middle of it. But these first few laps, you're just riding around. It's just like ARCA. I approach it like ARCA here. So first few laps, I'm just riding around. I'm not trying to do anything too extraordinary. Not trying to push the tires too hard. I'm not really trying to even pass this guy. I'm just trying to be patient. Try to settle in. Missed the corner a little bit right there. You want to be riding against the white line in 1 and 2, and in 3 and 4. The bottom is always the preferred line here. There's no traction compound or anything to help you out on the top, so you just want to run the bottom. So lap 6, see 16 cars going for it. He's running 30. He's running fastest on the track right now. See, I personally wouldn't do that this early in the run. But you can see this track actually gets really spread out, which is not something like I was able to notice really by myself, right? I can try to peek into the mirror and be like, oh yeah, the track's kind of spread out. Might need to settle in for a full green flag race. But if you do have a spotter, that's something I think that they could say. It's like, oh, it's really spread out, not a whole lot of battling going on. If you survive those first few laps, chances are at a track like this that's so wide, you're going to go green the whole way if it does fan out like it has. There was an incident during this race, but I don't think it caused a yellow. It might not have even been like an actual wreck, but there's that. And I just missed it. Let me go back for y'all here so you can see this, because this is an interesting incident here. Usually don't rewind it, but I wanted to show this guy. So 16 car tries to make a movement too. 2 cars defending the bottom. 16 just runs him over. 16 car just runs him over, man. So like, oh well, I guess I'm going for the lead now because we're almost wrecking on the lap 8. I probably could have taken the lead here, but I was going way too low. I thought the 2 car was still there, so I entered super low. Really, if I'd like actually arced back out, I probably could have taken the spot right there. So here, I'm just being patient. Trying to make this move work. He's defending pretty hard on the outside. But keep in mind, I'm still trying not to use up my stuff that hard. So I'm trying to be just really smooth. Not use a whole lot of right front, like not use a whole ton of steering angle. And right here, I think I clear him. So there he goes. So we clear him, but I think he wants it back on the inside, and I kind of just like, I'm not blocking on lap 10. He wants it that badly, you can have it. So I'll tuck back in a second. Fighting that much is not what I wanted to do for this position, so I was like, yeah, no, you can have it if you want it that bad. Because my suspicion is that he's going to wear his tires out the way he's been running. And that wear is going to kick in sooner rather than later is my suspicion. So you can kind of see it already. Like I just have more straight up pace than him, I believe. Already on lap 12. Like it doesn't take long to become an issue if you're overdriving the tires. So let me show you how I was running it sort of in the middle of the race here. Struggling a little bit for grip, a little bit of dirty air, not a whole lot. iRacing's, like I said in the last video, iRacing's under arrowed. The dirty arrow is probably a little bit understated. And by dirty air, I mean just less downforce. You'd expect less downforce than less side force when you're following another car, because when your car when a car drives through air, it pushes the air around it, that's the weight of pressure and the air speed and whatnot, so you don't get as much aerodynamic help on the car while you're driving behind another one. You're not familiar with the term. I think a lot of you might be, but just in case you are not. So you want the downforce and the side force to help your car stick into the track and turn, but you lose a little bit of that when following another car. But like I said, iRacing doesn't have that factored in too much, so it's not that bad. Back to the race. I'm just I'm following this guy right in his tire tracks. So now I'm just thinking, okay, he's falling off. I have more pace. How do I get around him? Uh, so now my approach is try to back up the corner a little bit and try to really nail the center and off. But I've also got the 2 car right behind me. So it's a very tough battle. I get shoved up to the outside because I wasn't able to guard the inside well enough. So now I'm just holding on for dear life not to hit the wall off the turn 2 because there's no grip up the top, especially once you get out of that rubber, that regenerated rubber on the track. There's no grip out there, and you're just like, oh, please. You're just like, please keep me out of the wall, man. So now you see that trail braking. I'm getting a little bit more brake pressure, and I also could have gone a little bit more aggressive on it, and I think that's the reason why I was struggling, is that I really wasn't pushing the front tires down the track, and they were skidding across the track. That's what was really wearing on that right front, I think. Not doing enough trail braking early in this middle part of the run. But the tires remember that. The tires remember how you treat them. The way I look at it. So if we're buckling in for a 45 lap green flag run, you better treat them nice that first half of that run. So now we're looking at the 16th here. Running bottom. Getting fully out of the gas on the bottom, you see, into 3 now. That was the first time we're doing that, I believe. Once you get about 15 laps in, you probably want to just start fully lifting. Heading into 3 and 4. See also me experimenting with some brake pressure as well. That wasn't I didn't like that braking profile there. I really sort of spiked it at the very end. But this is also when I'm encountering oversteer and I'm understeer, so I'm just like, oh, why is this not turning? I gotta slow down. It's not gonna make the corner. They're all tight, packed up. Now also the 1 car, he did not qualify, so he's climbed up his way up through the field. These pro drivers are a different breed, for real. So he's climbed his way up through the field. 3 cars caught up to us because of all that battling earlier. So I'm under a bit of pressure here. I'm just sandwiched. So I still think I'm faster than the 16 car, even though he has to sort of stabilize a little bit. I think he was saving a little. So I'm just like, okay, gotta find a new pace, find a rhythm. This is longer than I've ever run in practice, because I only did 20 lap runs, because I was like, oh, on average there will be a caution. I don't have to worry about this. Which I think my initial analysis of that was not the great when I was practicing for this race. But generally, you probably want to do, for these fixed races, you probably want to at least do 1 full fuel run so you can know the issues that will arise with tire balance or how to drive it, any other changes, like whether you need to start shifting, because you do start shifting in this race. At least I did, and that was what started working for me later on. Things like that. So that is something you need to consider, even if there's not necessarily going to be a green flag run. If you have the time to put in a full race run, just green, I would recommend doing 1 of those. You don't need to do that many if you're crunched for time, but probably doing 1 is beneficial so you know what sort of risks you're up against and how to try to combat them. Is this thing that tight? I'm struggling for grip here. You see the 1 car? He tried ripping the top, or I don't know what was going on there. I don't know what he was doing. I guess it didn't hurt him. But there's some pace up there. I wouldn't recommend that. He's got it. He definitely knows something I don't know. He's doing that. 2 cars in the lead. We're matching pace with them. 2 in the 16. Now I'm just settling in. Okay. 20 about 21 laps to go. At this point, my goal is like, okay, let me get past this. Let me at least get past the 16 part. I can't beat at the 16, right? This guy was so aggressive early on. He was going full all out, like from the very start. I can't let him beat me. So that's what I'm thinking. So I'm just trying to make sure I find the line. It changes, right? So the tire wear, you definitely need to adjust your line a lot throughout the entire run, through an entire race. So there, I'm like, okay, maybe I can power induce oversteer. No, you can't power induce oversteer with this car track combo because the gear ratios does not work out in your favor. You're not getting enough power and torque down at what 140 miles an hour in the center corner. Let's look at our center corner speed because it's very low. So you're entering 180, trail braking, 140. Then I think, oh, what if I just shift to third? Boom. Like a slight switch. I'm like, oh, that is so much better. That gives me the rotation I need through that late center part of the corner, the center and the late center, to really not lose some time because I was struggling against understeer so much. But I figured, oh, let me just downshift and then just rip it off its bottom. And you see, like right there, I just gapped them a little bit on that corner exit on turn 2. And I think, oh, I just realized, okay, yeah, that's what we're doing now. 3 and 4 is still struggling to get to the bottom. I think either was not braking enough or not lifting early enough, or a combination of both, and to not rip the white line. Now you do have to be careful in 3 and 4 because the white line is sort of on the apron, literally, like it's not on the banking like it is in 1 and 2. So you don't want to put the left front too deep on it. You want to have your left front right above it. I don't think you can really get onto it, otherwise it's throwing you up the track because you're hitting the apron. So right about there, you want to keep it there for essentially the entire corner. But our pace picked up once we started shifting, and it wasn't even just the shifting that helped, but because I was able to sort of help restore that tire balance, right? I was able to get the extra rotation without throwing steering wheel in it on corner exit. So that's cooling my right front. I'm now getting more right front grip. That's helping my entry, and it's helping just my cornering throughout the entire track because I was able to help balance it like that. And now I'm faster than the 16 car. So now it's about just looking for a move on him. Meanwhile, I got the pro driver in the 1 just running up on me as well. So you get a challenge there. Whole lot of stuff going on here. See that trail braking pressure so much higher than it was at the start. I'm really trying to get that nose to stick. But we were right up on this 2 car. Normal strategy is to sort of wait for get a run off, but here, if the 16 is just going to make a mistake in 3 and 4, I'm just going to take it. So this, after lap 30 or so, I noticed that turn 4 especially was very low on grip. I don't know what, you see the track temperature is up to 90 degrees now. My guess is that everyone in turn 4 is sort of exiting at the very same spot. So that just part of the track gets really slick. Not to mention, I bet that's where the sun is beating onto it as well. Let's look at where the shadows are, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. So everyone running there on that part of the track, plus the sun beating down on it, is gonna just locally heat up turn 4. And that's why I think that's something that caught the 16 off guard and allowed me to take the spot. No, I'm not gonna say I'm perfect. You see sideways on turn 4. Sideways, a lot of slipping. I'm gonna say I was driving this thing perfect. I think this is a fairly strong run. I do think I could have improved my tire balance in the middle section of the race. I was, like I said, very understeery, trying to make a move on the 16, can't do it. I think you just gotta use more brake. I think I had the brake bias low enough. Unlike the ARCA cars, you actually are not like super capped on like how low you can go on the brake bias, so you just take that thing down. You really use a lot of brake to get that rotation. I think you saw right there, that might have been, the peak was probably at 20. I missed it. I saw it, at 15%. You probably go 30%, I think. Because I did that one lap towards the end of the race, and it worked pretty well for me. But yeah. Go back to my cockpit view here. Really trail braking it off into the corner, and then really leaning on the gas on exit. Power-induced oversteer is my favorite thing to do. It really helps you sort of get to the throttle as soon as you can, and keep that steering angle up. Just look how sideways you get off the turn for it. Really struggling for a good thing. So you saw peak pressure is about 34%. They're leaning on the gas just till you get that perfect angle, and then we're out. Now, 2 cars a little bit faster than me. I think this is still the right way to drive it at this stage of the race. But he did have more tire left than me, right? His balance is better, and I think he just treated the tires better because he was trail braking more and then the center of the middle of the race. I think I should have been using this amount of brake pressure starting from lap like 12, lap 10 to 12, but I wasn't, and I think that was what was killing me, because I was just understeering the entire way through 1 and 2, the entire race. I just lost the balance, and I didn't get the balance back until I started just jamming on the gas with power-induced oversteer. And around lap like 28, 30. So at this point, I realized, okay, he's got his stuff is better than mine right now. I can't catch him. So if his stuff is better than mine and I can't catch him, my goal needs to be to hold off this pro driver behind me. So don't spin it out, don't throw it in the wall, don't miss any of your marks. We got solid pace. Let's just hold on to that. And you see the shifting technique as well. You just downshift right as you hit the gas, and then once you're getting from 3rd to 4th, coming off the turn 2, you just blip the throttle a little bit. You don't need to use the clutch. Now, I know people hate on this track a lot, but I gotta say, the most fun part about this race was probably this last 10 or so laps once the track starts really losing grip from just being so hot. Until then, yeah, I think it wasn't that enjoyable to drive, and I still think like there are plenty of better tracks than Texas Motor Speedway. This configuration. But once this grip starts fading, you're really struggling with it. It is fun. It's so fun. Last lap, here we go. Let's bring it home. One car started having to defend. He's got cars coming up behind him. He's got the 5. 16 managed to stay in there. He actually didn't wear his tires out as much as I really thought he would. But we get second place. Solid. Solid, solid, solid. Solid run, absolutely. We take those. Um, One of my first B fixed races in a while. Not the first, but one of my first ones in a long time. I don't really love it. It's fun. Cars a lot of fun. Um, Not a lot of downforce, slipping and sliding, trying to get that slip angle. You get a little bit of side force, that sort of rewards you for getting that steering, getting that car yawed out a bit, getting that right rear out into the air. It's fun. A lot of horsepower too you can play with. So, and that'll be it. So, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this race. Hope you learned a little bit of something. Um, and I hope you are looking forward to more. I'm Shelly. Please like and subscribe for more. See you guys later.